more to get through. Just the one more rugby league game to get through. And here we go. Hey guys, how you going? So down BKRsport, the St George Illawarra Dragons taking on the South Sydney Rabbitohs in the Charity Shield. This is usually known as the primetime preseason game. This is usually known as the one we all look forward to because they both care about winning such a prestigious shield that has gone on throughout history, and it's always so exciting. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to tell you that that may not be the case today because the South Sydney Rabbitohs, they've not put a strong team together here. So I'm a little bit itchy right now. The South Sydney Rabbitohs have not. Hold on 1 second. I'm really itchy as we currently speak. But they have not put on a strong team here at all. They have not put out anyone really at all. Whilst the Dragons, they had the luxury last week of playing a preseason game, and that means that they've put out a fully healthy, full strength Dragons team on paper against a Rabbitohs team that just doesn't look like they have any care factor of winning this game, and it's just more about a preseason hit out for a few of their younger players. You know, they've got Latrell in the game, but it's not Latrell Mitchell. They've got Latrell Seagwalt, and you're not going to know a great deal of this Rabbitohs team besides a couple of the guys, I guess, in their forwards, with one of their signings being Bronson Garlick from the Melbourne Storm. Aside of that, it's not exactly a fantastic amount exciting from them. Whilst the Dragons, like I said, they played last week and they got a win against the Newcastle Knights, who we just watched have an awful game. Just an awful game against the Canterbury Bulldogs where they lost 28-0. Early on today, we saw the Tigers beat the Roosters 42-26, Manly 33-18 over the Warriors, and obviously yesterday, two games where the Raiders beat the Storm 32-6 and the Cowboys beat the Panthers 66-24. Thursday, the Gold Coast Titans started their undefeated reign through 2026 and won 24-12. But this game here, there's no way the Dragons should be losing it by any stretch of the imagination. With a win, they actually could go. They'd go into second, but they would have played both of their games already in the preseason. They can go as high as second with the 26 points there. But then they'd have to hope on a few of those teams that have already won this week to lose next week. Not that it really matters in regards to that table. But let's go through the two-team lineups for today's game. This is in Wollongong, the home of the St George Illawarra Dragons Wynn Stadium. The Dragons, they are in seventh, come up against the Rabbitohs, who have not played a game yet. Go to the ins for the Dragons. Clint Gutherson, Damien Cook, Daniel Atkinson, their new recruit from the Sharks. He comes in. Emre Gula, Hamish Stewart, Jaden Sewer, Carl Flanagan, Lucian Leilua, and Moses Sully, with the outs being Charles Hidkey, Cyrus Stanley Trail, Dylan Coots, Haeli Finau, Isaiah Fungalilo, Josh Kerr, and Tyler Peckham Harris. Their fullback, Clint Gutherson, who is also the captain, with the wingers being Christian Tuipulotu and Setu Tu, centres of Moses Sully and David Farley. Go to the 5'8", which is Carl Flanagan, and the halfback of Daniel Atkinson. So I just realised there's no Valentine Holmes here today. The front row forwards are Emre Gula and Toby Couchman with the number 9, Damien Cook. The back row is Luciana Leilua and Jaden Sewer with the 13, Hame Sele. Interchange of Hamish Stewart, Blake Laurie, Ryan Couchman, and Locko Pacifici Tonga. Reserves who you'll see and feature all throughout the day today because it's unlimited interchange. Tyrell Sloan, Matthew Feeney, Lycan King Tagia, Cade Reed, Jacob Halangahu, Hayden Buchanan, Nick Sugranis, Joseph O'Neill, and Ryan Hutchison. So the guys that you expect are well and truly in. I'm really interested to see that Tyrell Sloan is left out of the team today, and he is on the reserves. So you've got Setu Tu there starting alongside Christian Tuipulotu on the wing, when I probably would have expected a bit more of Tyrell Sloan. Obviously, Gutho will take back his fullback spot. But overall, this is a pretty much full-strength Dragons team, and I'm so excited that Shane Flanagan has actually decided to put Carl Flanagan to the 6 and Atkinson to the 7, because I've been saying that I was nervous that Flanagan was going to put Atkinson into the 6 and Carl Flanagan into the 7, but obviously that's not the case, and he has decided to go the right way, in my opinion anyway, because Atkinson is definitely a 7 there. Now, the Rabbitohs, they're not a full-strength team by any means. Matthew Duffy, the ex-Dragon, he's the fullback, with the wingers being Bailey Bentley Harpe and Geordie Mazzone. Centres of Talanoa Penatani and Latrell Seagwalt, with the 5'8" being Ashton Ward and the halfback Jonah Glover. The front row forwards are Salesi Atata and Lachlan Hubner. Number 9, Peter Mummelzelis. Back row of Thomas Fletcher and Max McCarthy, with the 13 being Bronson Garlick, who is the captain. The interchange of Jamie Humphries, Tavita Totola, Sean Kepi, and Liam LeBlanc, with the reserves Matthew Humphries, John Riddell, Tim Johansson, Elijah Kong, Jay Kirk, Nazareth Tower, William Afualo, Oliver Lowry, and Tayson Fuka Aussie, as his last name there, sorry. So this Rabbitohs team, the guys that you will know, you'll know Matty Duffy from his Dragons days. He went to the Super League and whatnot, and now he's back at the South Sydney, but it's going to be very difficult for him to get in with Jai Gray being the fullback and Latrell Mitchell being there. You'll also know the name, maybe Latrell Sieg. He hasn't really broke onto the scene by any means, but you know the name. Ashen Ward played a bit in the halves last year for the Rabbitohs. Peter Mummelzelis, he is their starting 9. Lachlan Hubner, he was in and out. He was there in their team last year. Thomas Fletcher's name you would know, and Bronson Garlick you would know from his Melbourne Storm days, with Jamie Humphries as the 14. You definitely would know him, as he is probably their 7 long term at the moment, as their halves are the biggest concerns at South Sydney. They've got a fantastic team, full strength. Let's go and have a look at the Rabbitohs predicted lineup 2026. So currently speaking, they've got Jai Gray, Alex Johnston, Latrell Mitchell, Jack White, and Campbell Graham, Cody Walker, Jamie Humphries, Tavita Totola, Brandon Smith, Keon Kolomatangi. No, not Keon. That's wrong. Hold on. That was... Oh, wait. Is Keon for... Hold on. Wait a second. Oh, that's right, because Keon's next year, isn't he? He's off to the Dragons next year, isn't he? Or am I mistaken there? I know obviously Keon has signed, but it must be next year. But let me just go and get a different one up here, because I feel like that might be wrong. I'm going to proceed. Okay, can't get to sportingnews.com.au. Fair enough. Give me 1 second here. Actually, no, was it this year or is it for next year? I'm going to get to the chat here. Was it this year? Oh, yeah, it is next year. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Nath. So let's go down to the South Sydney Rabbitohs in regards to their team lineup. The game starts in 5 minutes' time, guys, so hit that like button and subscribe if you're new around here. So the Rabbitohs... Oh, they're well down in regards to this. There we go. So Jai Gray, Alex Johnson, Jack White, and Latrell Mitchell, Campbell Graham, Cody Walker, and Jamie Humphries, with Jai Arrow, Mummelzelis, Kolomatangi, Talis Duncan, David Fafita, Cameron Murray, Brandon Smith, Lachlan Hubner, Tavita Totola, and Ewan Aiken. So Lachlan Hubner is here today. Tavita Totola is here today. You've also got Peter Mummelzelis here today. Jamie Humphries is available, and that's it. So it's just there's so many of their stars that are not playing, but that is a good roster. It's just the 6 of Cody Walker and the 7 of Jamie Humphries that doesn't really explode this team. And I feel like that's their biggest issue right now. That's what they need to focus on going into next year, when they will sign, where they will get Payne Haas into their team, which is absolutely massive. Then they would have, I guess, Jai Arrow and Payne Haas as their 2 front rowers, but that is absolutely massive for them with that signing. It's huge. But for the time being, guys, let's hope this is a good game. I highly, highly doubt it. I think the Dragons should run away with this one with their team list on paper, but we have seen teams with stronger teams on paper losing this week. The Dolphins, without Hamiso and Herbie, basically had a full-strength team in. They lost to the Gold Coast Titans, who didn't have their full-strength team by any means in. We also, the Tigers, the Roosters had more experience, but it wasn't anywhere close to a strengthy team for the Roosters, but it was a little bit more on the experience factor than, say, the West Tigers. There was the Warriors and Manly game, where Warriors had a far more experienced team in than what Manly had, but yet Joey Walsh pulled Manly over the line and won that game. So we have seen those surprises this week, but I feel like there's no way. This is going to be surely similar to the Cowboys and the Panthers game, with the Cowboys 166-18 with the full strength up against a 0 players starting 17 Panthers team. So hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, let's get into the chat, and let's fire it up. Ray9 says, next year, but I thought he was injured. No, good news if not. Well, yeah, he's not playing right now today. He's not here, but he is predicted to be the round in round one, so I don't know about his injury. You've obviously got the red and green hearts there, so you're a Rabbitohs fan. You'd know more about that than me. How is his injury tracking? Is he going to be okay? I'm not too sure. I was just looking at the predicted round one team lineup there. Nate J says, Flanagan will be our death. Aspects, if they win, we delete you. Or Aspects said, if Dragons lose this, delete the club. Oh, it's a pre-season game at the end of the day, mate. You know, it's just like the Knights. At the end of the day, it's a pre-season, but it's just there was just so many things that lined up with what happened in that one that you just like, oh, it's so similar to 2025. I also forgot to say thank you to Melissa O'Leary for joining up as a member to the BK Army. Get around you for supporting the channel. It's only $5 to be a member and support the channel, so appreciate you, Melissa, for getting behind it. Humphreys, Ward, Hubner, Munama. Can't spell that. Should be good to go tonight. Who's Munama? Do you mean Mamuzelas? Who's Munama? The Dragons will get the ball to start off this game, and they'll run this ball to the 13. Let me just refresh this score. Oh, no, it's already refreshed. It's already live. Jay's not complaining now. Jay's not into me anymore because I'm just so on fire in regards to getting that score rocking and rolling. Second tackle here for the Dragons. Luciano Lua rolls it back to Cookie. And Hame Sele brings it to the 30. Damien Cook off to Daniel Atkinson. And Jaden Sewer will bring it to the 40 on 4 tackle. That one. Okay, yeah, so Peter Mamuzelas, he's good to go. He's the number 9. What's happening with Brandon Smith, by the way? Obviously, he's had a bit going on. Yeah, because he's at the South Sydney Rabbitohs, but how long is he meant to be with you guys for? Obviously, he hasn't really kicked on with his career post the Melbourne Storm. What's happening with Brandon Smith? Because on that predicted lineup, it had Brandon Smith from the NRL. Brandon Smith is the starting 9, but I thought that you guys at the Rabbitohs were going straight up with Peter Mamuzelas. He's a lot younger and has shown at least something. How old is Peter Mamuzelas? He's 25 years old. You know, this is the time to really back behind him, and Brandon Smith hasn't really shown a fantastic amount, but oh no. Hame Sele is down right now. God bless him. I hope he's okay. He is down right now and really struggling to get up. You hate to see this 2 weeks out from the regular season and obviously over to Vegas. Well, he would be able to play Vegas. If this is a head knock and he's able to get through, he will still be able to play. Yeah, hopefully the legal troubles won't cost Cheese too much. Cheese will be there until he gets caught with drugs, and he says, for legal purposes, I read out a comment there. I read out a comment. But no, I just don't... Well, I always said that Brennan Smith was great at the Storm, but I didn't think he would translate into the Roosters, and he didn't. And I didn't think he would translate into the Rabbitohs, and he hasn't. I think he was just seriously the big-time product there of what the Melbourne Storm were, but this is definitely going to be his night done here, Hame Sele, which is a big hit to him. He should still be able to play in Vegas, though. It's obvious that he's got a concussion here, but he'll be able to play in Vegas in 2 weeks' time. Oh, actually... Oh, yeah, no, he will. Yeah, no, he's fine. No, he's fine. Because 10-day, isn't it? Hold on. I just want to confirm. Oh, 11 days. Sorry, not 10-day period. It's an 11-day stand down. So, yeah, he'd be well and truly right to go before the game in Vegas. HIAs have started already. Yeah, minute and 21 seconds into the first half, and Hame Sele is already, unfortunately, out for the game. But luckily, there is that 2-week break before the Vegas. He surprised me with us. We needed the heavy bloke. He didn't do too bad last year. Yeah, look, I think Brandon Smith is an okay player, but just at the Storm, he was way better than what he's shown at the Roosters and the Rabbitohs, and it's more of a nuggety, just run it up kind of Brandon Smith comparatively to what you see for New Zealand and also what you saw for the Storm. He doesn't have the... I don't feel like the workload's there in comparison, but he just doesn't have the same amount of attributes. He's got individual attributes that you like, but he doesn't have the same amount of attributes that you would prefer from his Storm days, obviously. First tackle here, they get a 6 again, the Dragons at their own 40. Rugby League Therapy says, "G'day Blaze, for all the gas around the Bunnies pack next year. They'll still have a mid-bench in 27. My question is, would you rather Raiders pack and bench this year or Bunnies pack and bench next year?" Raiders every day of the week. I take the Raiders every single day of the week. It is absolutely spectacular. Payne Haas is clearly the best player out of both the packs that we're talking about here. Oh, hold on a second. What's the referee calling here? Bit of a biffo. Leilua grabbing. There's an injured player too. Everything's going on right now. God bless the injured player. Lucha Leilua is really fired up here. He wants to punch on. There's a little bit of feeling right now. Who is this Rabbitohs player? And Jonah Glover is down injured for the Rabbitohs. God bless him. He's grabbing at his nose. He's got a bleeding nose as we speak. Yeah, his nose has gone straight into the shoulder of Leilua. Who's this Rabbitohs player? It's the number 3 for the Rabbitohs, who is Talanoa Penatani, who is arcing up alongside Leilua. So he comes off Jonah Glover, and I don't know if he'll be back tonight. That's a big loss if he does not come back. Jonah Glover is definitely knocking on the door with this team, and halves is where they want to be looking towards right now. Fit tackle for the Dragons to be the 45. So going back to Rugby League Therapy's comment, you just can't go past the proven solidity of what the Raiders have. Joe Tarpany, international, New Zealand, Captain Fantastic there kind of player. You've got, well, Josh Papali'i, but you're asking now or you're asking next year? If you're asking what the Raiders have now, Josh Papali'i still. The hooker is more solidified with the Raiders too, with the guys of Owen Paddy and Tom Starling compared to Peter Mamozelis and Brandon Smith, which we've just been speaking about. You know, Hudson Young, fantastic at Raiders level. When it comes to Origin, we haven't seen it, but when it comes to Raiders, he's been absolutely unbelievable. One of the best back rowers in the game. Rabbitohs will bring this ball to the 33. Corey Horsburgh, obviously tough as all nails. It could have been one of the best locks in the game right now, but he just is too emotional and lets the game get away from him sometimes and can be super ill-disciplined. But I really love what Horsburgh can bring if he's just focused on the game at hand. Dragons, good run from Settle too. He brings it to the 45. And then you just look across the rest of the team, and if they're able to let go Trey Mooney, who looked like a really big play coming up, you know they've got a good fullback. So I will take the Raiders because I'm not convinced in the Rabbitohs 9 next year. I am not convinced in Dave right now, even though he has the opportunity to absolutely re-break out. I'm very convinced in Payne Haas, but also the other forward is Jai Arrow, who hasn't been as good as, say, when he was at his prime time, when he was playing lock at the Titans, he was incredible individually. Had a good couple of years at the Rabbitohs, but not necessarily what he would ultimately like. And, yeah, I'd still take the Raiders. Yeah, I would. Dragons, Carl Flanagan! Oh, just short of the line, 1 metre out. It's a good run, though, from Flanagan. You got to give him that, Nath. Got to give him that. Everyone says Broncos are beating Falcons 10-0 so far. Well, it's not really the Broncos, though, is it? It's not really the Broncos. Broncos are all over in England right now ahead of their game on Friday morning. Or Thursday night for them, but Friday morning for us. And that's a penalty to the Rabbitohs to get themselves out of trouble. Wow, Lushai Leilua and Talanoa Penatani are really fired up at each other at the moment. There could be a punch-on. There could be a biffo in this game. Lachlan Galvin's boyfriend, well, you'd be happy with how your boyfriend, well, I don't know if he played amazing today, but you'd be happy that he got the win. Surprised Leilua was keen to fight a bloke? Okay, let's settle down. Let's settle down. Rugby Therapy says, Beauty Cheers plays, I'm on board. So do you agree with it? Would you take the Rabbitohs? Again, Payne Haas is the ultimate best of the lot. But I think collectively speaking, you'd take the Raiders forward pack over the Rabbitohs forward pack. The thing is, man, and again, I don't know if you agree with it or not. The thing is, when you talk about the Rabbitohs and you talk about the Raiders, it's the fan bases that are so impactful there. Rabbitohs get this ball to the 45. The Rabbitohs have one of the biggest fan bases in the league, regardless of their turnout at a core stadium. They have one of the biggest fan bases in the league. And they are also a prolific club. Penatani. Oh, good run. He's looking like he's on for one. He'll get this ball to the 20 on 4th tackle. He looks like a good player. South Sydney, I'll keep answering this question in a second, over the top, and Rabbitohs taking it out of the 20. He can tackle him in the air there because it's a pass. It's not a kick. They'll put that ball, cheeky little dink, over the top for Matty Dufty. And Dufty will be 5 metres out from their own line. from the Dragons line. Dragons will get the ball change over. So the Rabbitohs have a prolific fan base, have a prolific club. The Sydney media is going to big them up and talk about them, and everyone's going to talk about the Rabbitohs. Bang, 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 always. Canberra are not Sydney-based club. They're not even New South Wales. Canberra isn't really thought about as much compared to most teams around the league. Hold on. Hamo Sele went down opening set. Definitely been ruled out with a Category 1 HIA. But he will be able to play Vegas in 2 weeks with the 11-dayer. But the Raiders, they're from Canberra. It's not really that cared about overall out of the eastern cities of Australia. They're a very under-the-radar location in the NRL. So when you're talking, if the Rabbitohs had the Raiders forward pack, it'd be known as the greatest of all time. But with the Raiders having it, it's not going to be talked about as much. So that's why you're going to see that hype behind the Rabbitohs comparatively to the Raiders, but also because Payne Haas is Payne Haas. How many Penatanis have been bred? Bred's a crazy word. Between them and the Hopoatos, they just keep on coming. You can't stop them. You just can't stop the Penatanis, mate. We've got a Penatani in our women's team at the Titans. There's also the Penatani for the Sharkies. The Penatanis now for the Rabbitohs. They're all over it. It's taking over the world, the Penatanis. Football Minecraft has up the bunnies. Well, they've had a good start here considering how less strength their team is. Rugby League Therapy says, yes, I agree. I see where you're coming from. I made the comparison because too many podcasters, pundits are gassing the Bunnies 27 pack. However, Raiders pack and bench is comprehensively better. I agree with you 100%. Third tackle. But I think that comes from the fact that the Rabbitohs are a bigger team. So they're going to look at that and they're going to see Payne Haas and they're just going to take it and smash it in with their thoughts. But also, 1 second, Dragons are away here. Atkinson back on the inside. Clint Gutterson will score a try for the Dragons. And it's 4-0 with a kick to come. Nice work there. And Atkinson will get that try assist. And Gutho will score the try. 4-0 with a kick to come. Payne Haas is such a big-time player that the thought process of Payne elevates the thoughts about the whole club and the whole forward pack, because you're assuming that David Fifita is going to be as good as he once was in his early years of the Titans, right? You're assuming he's going to do that, and I hope he does that, but it's an assumption right now. They've got Payne and they've got Dave, and that's massive, but outside of that, how convinced are you really on that forward pack? Kaloma-Tungi is gone now. You can't use him for 2027 onwards. You're going to have Cameron Murray is in the 13. That's fantastic, but we want to see him really come back from his injury, because at the moment we are assuming he comes back from his injury and kills it as much as he should. So Cameron Murray, David Fifita, and Payne is great, but there's 2 plays there on assumptions. One is a solid guarantee number 1 front rower in the game. The 9, the other spot in the front row is not exactly out of control right now. I think there's plenty of question marks still to be answered on the Rabbitohs. But also, you could come back to me later on this year, and I could have a different opinion. I could say that I think that the Rabbitohs are going to be the ones to have the better forward pack in 2027. If we base it off of the now Raiders and then the Rabbitohs next year. I just need to see how Dave and Cameron Murray go. But the bench isn't spectacular, which is kind of what you're focusing on there. So as a collective, yeah, I am taking the Raiders. Well, there we go. Samson, I don't like you, bro. Good, mate. Good. 10 minutes gone here. 30 minutes to go in the first half. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Well, at least your dogs won for you, Sam. But also, we don't really care. For all the other Doggies fans, good stuff. But unfortunately, Sam, you just don't understand. All you did was spam our chat before, and then you started insulting my team for just God knows what reason, and then you insulted other people here in the chat, and now you're insulting me. So we don't really give a shit, mate. If you don't like it here, you don't actually have to watch it here. I know it's a shock horror. I know it's a surprise. I know it's going to be really difficult to comprehend that, but you make the choice to click on this stream. We don't make the choice to click on your stream. So that's the difference here. So if you want to sit here and enjoy the game with us, feel free to. But if you're going to be a knob, we don't care. First tackle for the Dragons. They're going to get this ball to the 18, and it's first tackle for St George. Alan says, who are you going for in this game? Well, obviously my team's not playing here. I don't have a team that I'm going for. I'm just wanting good rugby league, even though I think the Dragons should win this one quite comprehensively, based off of the two teams on paper. The two teams on paper, Dragons full strength, basically, minus Val Holmes and whatnot. And then for the Rabbitohs, they've got basically nobody in, right? So the Dragons should win this game pretty well. And they would be so disappointed if they didn't. So disappointed. Because the Cowboys and Panthers game, the Cowboys, they're not beating the Panthers like that at all during the season. But in that preseason game where they had a full strength roster up against a Panthers team that had literally none of their starting 17 in the game, they went and won 66-18. Football says Rabbitohs are better. I don't. Firstly, please don't clog the chat. Just kind of use one or two comments and whatnot. But I don't disagree. I think the Rabbitohs should finish higher than the Dragons this year, provided they're injury-free. But this is different. This is a preseason game between a full-strength roster and a non-full strength roster. So you've got to take off the rose-tinted glasses and assume that the Dragons are going to do the job with it. Jackson's Keyboard Warriors is always one. Yeah, we get a few, mate, but we know how to deal with them. 5 years ago, we would have gone back and forth, but nowadays we just say, if you don't like it, you don't have to be here, mate. It's what it is. Let's talk about Latrell Mitchell. Why? Why should we talk about Latrell Mitchell? What do you want to talk about Latrell Mitchell about? Dragons get that ball across, and Dragons will get this ball to the 40 on second tackle. And now Luchan Leilua, he'll be at the 50. It's very laggy. Anyway, to fix your voice is choppy. Is it bad, guys? Is it bad? Justin Sutter says, let's not talk about Latrell Mitchell. There's also that option too. The Dragons will get this ball now. They will get the ball to the 45. And Hamish Shield with an amazing run. He's steamed onto that. And he'll be at the 30. They'll kick that ball up into the corner. Good kick from the Dragons. Knocked on from the Rabbitohs. Dragons might score. Atkinson flicks it back. Here's a chance. They throw it over the top. That's a forward pass, but they'll come back, I would say. They'll come back for the knock-on against the Rabbitohs, I would say. No football. Due to broadcasting restrictions, I cannot show you the game live. Oh, no, that was just knocked back from the Dragons. So this should be Rabbitohs ball at 10. It's fine. Okay. Oh, no, and then the Rabbitohs on that first tackle will make the mistake. So the Dragons will actually get the ball back on the 10. Now, you're all good, Lee. It's awesome. That's why I asked. I didn't have a crack at you or anything like that. That's why I asked. Because sometimes it does have problems and whatnot. But that's why I ask everyone first before I come for you. Sundo says, would have thought DC would have played a few minutes today. Would have liked it, Sundo. I'm sure he'll play next week. Who do the Roosters play next week? I'm sure he'll play in next week's game against the Parramatta Eels in Gosford. I would fancy Ches to play in that one. There's no way you wouldn't be playing him in at least one preseason game, but you and I both know how much the Roosters care about preseason matchups, mate. Penalty to the Dragons. Penalty to the Dragons. Jared Sutton is the referee. You and I both know how much the Roosters care about any game in the preseason all the way through until round 6. All the way through until round 6, the Roosters, they couldn't care less about rugby league until about round 6 of the season. 25 minutes left the first half. Atkinson back into Moses Suli, who was 5 metres out from the line. 5 metres out. First tackle, Damien Cook. I can't believe we've only seen one try so far. I was expecting the Dragons to dominate even more so. Rabbitohs have been actually pretty good for the first 15. Damien Cook to Flanagan. And then Jaden Sewer, 5 metres out from the line, third tackle. Does any Dragons fan think that he can get back into the origin thought process? Well, arguably forward there. Fourth tackle, 5 metres out, Emre Gula. Oh, that's a 6 again. That's awful from Mamazelis to give away that 6 again. Hamish Stewart, he's been running the ball on real hard. Jeez, he's close. 1 metre out from the line. First tackle, 1 metre out. Damien Cook, he'll get the ball out the back to Flanagan, to Atkinson, who throws the ball over the sideline. It's landed in the ocean, the Pacific Ocean next to the Wollongong. That pass goes over the sideline. The Dragons have not been great for a full-strength team in its first 16 minutes. Panthers since 2003 says, I wish all the preseason games were hosted in the country areas to give more to those communities. Seems pointless to have them at the main stadiums. Well, Wollongong's fine, but I get your thought process here. I love a bit of Gosford. I love a bit of, Bathurst would have been nice for Panthers. Queanbeyan for the Raiders was really good to see. I wonder where that Storm game is next week. Is that at Sunshine Coast, maybe? Probably, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Sunshine Coast Stadium, because I know the Falcons are with the Storm there. Fourth tackle for the Rabbitohs, they'll get this ball to the 45. So next week you've got Leichhardt Oval for the Warriors Dolphins in a doubleheader with Tigers and Panthers. I love that. I don't mind that at all. Gosford for the Sharks Raiders and Roosters Eels doubleheaders. Then you've got Titans versus Storm at Sunshine Coast Stadium. Storm at the home team because that's their feeder club. And then you've got Glenwillow Oval in Mudgee for Rabbitohs Manly. So you are getting a predominant amount of games in the country areas, and I love that from the NRL. Dolphins at KO Stadium in Redcliffe. I would have preferred them to maybe take a game elsewhere, but with that being said, they usually play at Suncorp, so KO Stadium is fine to give their local fans a good go. Seaford Oval in Queanbeyan for Raiders, you got it there. Mackay, BB Prince Stadium for the Cowboys, love it. McLean Park and Napier for the Warriors, love it. The Newcastle doubleheader would have preferred the Tigers to play wherever their local team is in regards to like a country town, and the Knights, I would have liked them to play wherever there was somewhere around Newcastle. I'm sure there's going to be a stadium that could have fit a pre-season crowd in around Newcastle somewhere, or just outside of Newcastle. Wollongong I'm kind of okay with, and then tomorrow's Henson Park, Sydney for the Sharks. So I think for the most part they do a pretty good job with their pre-season, country-based stadiums, and that's a penalty to the Rabbitohs for offside. Rugby League says, completely agree. Big teams amplify media coverage. Pretty sure the only commentators who watch Raiders games are the ones commentating Raiders games. Well, like, for example, I'm not going to big myself up here, but I'm also going to say I watch every single game. We deal with all different fans of all different teams in the chat here, and I'm very hands-on with talking to the chat and back and forth and whatnot. So I have a pretty good read about how people think about their team, how fans operate about their team, who has the most followers in regards to like the interaction and whatnot. And that's not saying that everything here is the be-all and end-all, but it's just I've got I get good opinions from people of all these different teams, and it's a lot of people have a strong opinion about everything when they don't watch everything. Like, I see who watches everything here, and there's going to be a lot of people who watch these streams and don't comment, who also watch a lot of these games with us and all these games with us. But I see it. But there are so many people who will have an opinion about the Raiders without actually watching the Raiders. But they'll have an opinion about the Rabbitohs, and they'll watch the Rabbitohs. And that's great, but you can't have the opinion on the Raiders if you're not actually watching them. 6 again with the Rabbitohs, it's second tackle actually, 15 metres out from the line. There's a point that I'm making here in a second. They're 10 metres out, and Matty Duffy, he'll be 5 metres away from the line. Just let me read this, watch this set, and then I'll give you my point. Third tackle at the 5. Humphreys on the field, gives it to Sean Kepi, and it'll be 4 tackle, 4 metres away from the line. 20 minutes gone to the first half, guys. 20 minutes to go. Hit that like button and subscribe. Mumbles Ellis out the back, gives it to Ashen Ward. It's going to be Talanoa! Try time. Talanoa, and the Rabbitohs will score. The Rabbitohs will score. Now, you're a good Lee is awesome. You're fine, mate. I'm glad that you tried to let us know, just in case, right? But 6-4 to the Dragons with a kick to come to the Rabbitohs. Wow, he has been good today. He has been really positive to watch. Nearly had a punch on with Luchan Leilua. It's Talanoa Penatani. He is having a breakout kind of game here for the Rabbitohs. Just look how strong he is to get past the defensive centre of Moses Suli. You aren't stopping Talanoa, and he will score. So although the Rabbitohs do have plenty in that 1 through 5 position, they're not getting rid of Jack White nor Campbell Graham or Trell Mitchell, say, for example, in that centre right now. He's looking good. Penatani. He's been good. So 6-4 with a kick to come and 20 minutes to go. Thumbs up and subscribe. So what I was saying was that the reason for this as well is because the Raiders won't get your Thursday primetime slots, the Friday primetime slots, because that'll go to Brisbane or South Sydney or East or even Penrith kind of deal, Melbourne Storm. all these big-time teams will get the free time slot on the Thursday and the Friday where you can watch it on Channel 9. Warriors is another great team because they're always on at 6 p.m, which isn't the free game in Australia because 6 p.m in New Zealand is an 8 p.m game. So the broadcasting is perfect for the Warriors there, where they get a primetime game in New Zealand at 6 p.m, and then you'll also get the primetime game in Australia for financial reasons and viewership reasons at 8 p.m. It works out beautiful. So that's why you see the Warriors at 6 p.m. But people don't necessarily get to watch those games because they don't have the money to pay for KO, or they just don't have the intention to watch teams that aren't theirs, but they'll have a strong opinion based off either one game they see on a Friday or a Thursday night for that team, but they don't watch the whole season as a whole. So when you're seeing these Rabbitohs constantly in the free time slot, you will get more of a national recognition or international recognition for the Rabbitohs comparatively to, say, a Raiders who will always play on a Saturday or a Sunday kind of deal. No one knows anything about the Titans. The thing that pisses me off is that so many people have an opinion on the Titans based off of just the result, and it's like, I get that you can have an opinion that's shit, right? Because they've come fourth last 3 years in a row, and then came second last year. If not for the last game winning, they would have come last. But people don't have a clue how the Titans play. They don't have a single clue whatsoever. If you watch them, great, then you'll have a clue. But a lot of the time, people have this overall consensus the Titans are really good on the attack and not good on the defense. Rabbitohs get this ball at the 10. And it hasn't actually been the truth for a long time. Last year, their attack was pretty good, but it was much better than previous years where the common notion was that the Titans can attack and the Titans can't defend. The Titans can't defend is absolutely truth. That's a Rabbitohs knock on the first set after points, and the Dragons will get the ball on 0 tackle at the 35. And Atkinson will be taking out the 38, but I'd be wanting to take that back at the 25. Why is awful refereeing? Let them take it at the 25 with a fresh set rather than 0 tackle at the 38. It's first tackle at the 30. They've lost 5 metres by the first tackle. That's awful refereeing. So what I'm trying to say is, again, the big teams with the best time slots like the Broncos and whatnot will always have the amplification from the fans comparatively to, say, Titans or Tigers or Knights or Raiders or Warriors or even Dolphins per se, but the Dolphins do get enough of those Friday night games as well. But once they don't get those free games, good offload there from Leilua, and Clint Gutherson is 8 metres out from the line. It's tied 6-6, 4 tackle. Damien Cook goes for a scroll, and he will get the roll. Scroll and roll, baby. Damien Cook with a try time right next to the post. It is 10-6 with the kick to come to the Dragons. 10-6 with the kick to come to the Dragons. It is a try time for Damien Cook. Did I make that make sense? Obviously, I'm in the commentating, but I'm also trying to make things make sense as well. So I hope I made that make sense this time. Rugby League says, explains how many are saying the Raiders will be worse off without Fogarty. However, by round 10, Manly and commentary will realise they've signed Aiden Caesar with a spray tan. The interesting thing about the Raiders is that I can see them dropping down a little bit, but they're still definitely a top 8 team. Canberra will never get the credit that they're due unless they win the comp. They just never will. Because no one cares about Canberra enough. And that's not me trying to offend Canberra fans, but I think you know it, and I think you get it. People don't care about Canberra enough. So, for example, last year, everyone had the Raiders come last or in the bottom 4. I had them for 9th, and I thought that was pretty good. And they overexceeded my expectations by 9 spots and came first, right? But most people had them for last, and Ricky Stewart even came out and said, like, the comp's going to be pretty good if we're coming last, and they came first, so he was absolutely spot on. So, look, I can see them struggling with no Fogarty because they've got no bona fide replacement. Ethan Sanders is not a guaranteed replacement. Kobe Black is still extremely young. They've got Ethan Strange there as the 5'8", but you could have a lot of similarities between Strange and this new incumbent halfback in Sanders or Kobe Black, whilst Fogarty was very much a stabiliser, not enigmatic, not very exciting, just does his job, while Strange can be that guy. You don't want two of those crazy guys that can just go bang, bang, bang here, there, and everywhere, because sometimes they can get in the way of each other. A lot of the time you'll find that actually at the Tigers with guys like Latu and Jerome Luai. But so there is a problem there, but they've got such a good backline and such a good forward pack that it should get them over the line regardless. Sam with the 33 months. Get around you, Sammy. Too bad we have to deal with you for 33 months. But we appreciate you for your support. 16 minutes to go here the first half, and the Dragons lead 12-6. Rude One says, let's go to Rabbitohs. Brenton says, Ethan Try for the South Sea team. John says, who scored so far? Try scorer so far, we saw Penatani, Talanoa Penatani for the Rabbitohs, and for the Dragons, it's been Clint Cutherson and Damien Cook. Oh, hold on. Jonah Glover, fractured jaw. He'll be out for a couple of months, Jonah Glover. So that is some of the halves stock already injured for the Rabbitohs. That is really frustrating to see, considering they had that really significant injury-prone season last year, where they had 280-odd collective games missed across the team. Well, Jonah Glover, who wasn't predicted to be in their top 17, was a very good depth option for them, though, and in a position of need. So that does hurt the Rabbits. Jonah Glover, fractured jaw football, they just said, so he'll be out for a couple of months. First try, that was scored by Clint Gutherson. Clint Gutherson with the first try. Rabbitohs are away here. Oh, good tackle by Luciano Leilua. Otherwise, he was absolutely gone. Sam says, how's Fafita looking? Yeah, Fafita's looking great, mate. Really looking forward to seeing what the bench is looking like with the players who obviously aren't playing here today, because none of the Rabbitohs starting 17 are really playing. There's a couple, but not really. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Dave Fafita drink his water and just to show us how classy he is whilst doing it. Forward tackle now for the Rabbitohs. And they're going to get this ball to the 40 on the Dragon side of the field on fit tackle. Sean says, I had a look at a couple of other streams and they're shit compared to yours. I don't know how they do it. Well, look, they're giving it a crack, but what I will say is it's very difficult to do these streams unless you do have those comments to bounce off. As long as they're not eating on their stream, then I won't defend them. But it isn't as easy as people think. You know, you do have to have something to talk about the whole time. You've got the commentary of the game. You've got your own investment and passion in the game. You've got the comments to bounce off and whatnot. It's very fun. But at the start, it's not easy. And that's what we're kind of doing with cricket, as we're building the cricket up on this channel with New Zealand, South Africa tonight. Gutho's away. This should be a try. Daniel Atkinson was right. He gets the ball. Oh, Damien Cook's dropped the ball. That should have been a try to the post, but Daniel Atkinson gets the ball to Damien Cook and he bombs the try with a drop ball. Was Duffy at fault for any time? Was Duffy at fault for any try? Was Duffy at fault for any try? Sorry, thank you, Quandale, for helping me out with that one. I understand why you're asking that question. I wouldn't say at all that he was at fault for the Damien Cook try, because that was a scoop from dummy half. The Gutherson try, I wouldn't say that I've blamed Duffy for these tries, but he is very well known for being blamed for a lot of the tries. Oh, sorry, he's blamed for the... yeah, no, that's right. I did get it right. My brain then clicked back and thinking he was the Dragon, and I should have been looking at the Rabbitohs try, but no, he's Rabbitohs and looking at the Dragons tries. So, forward tackle, that confused my brain. Fifth tackle, sorry, and they'll kick that ball up into the corner. Good kick that puts a lot of pressure on. Rabbitohs can't get there, though, and Setu 2 gets the ball at the 10. Second tackle for the Dragons. Jeez, I tell you what, I'm getting tired though. 3.5 games today we've streamed. Warriors, Manly, Tigers, Roosters. Previous game of Knights, Bulldogs, and Knights will always take it out of you, and so are the Bulldogs with their lack of attack for the most part. And then now Dragons, Rabbitohs. We've got one more stream later. New Zealand, South Africa. We're doing our best, but we're still cracking on. Quite happy we got rid of him. Yeah, I was never a fan of Matt Duffy. He was quite polarising. Oh, that's an awful pass there from dummy half, and that's a knock-on from the Dragons. Oh, that is awful. Damien Cook with an awful pass, and Daniel Atkinson will drop the ball. That is a gift for South Sydney, 25 metres out. He was very polarising. Where it was Flanagan with the pass. Damien Cook played the ball. Flanagan then passed the ball to the grass, and Atkinson knocks it on from there. You blame Flanagan for that, unfortunately. But Matt Duffy was loved by some because he was so exciting in moments. But if you watched rugby league enough, you saw that he was really lackluster defensively and would make quite a few mistakes and whatnot. But he had those real electric, flary moments where he would have a real positive thing to talk about with him. Just unfortunately, it wasn't consistent at all. What do I think about the Bulldogs game? Preseason game, but Knights look like the Knights right now. They look very similar. I still think Fletcher Sharp should be in their halves, and with the Bulldogs, I want to see them against somebody who's not the Knights. So Rabbitohs, 10 out, taken down, 9 metres away from the line, second tackle, 10 minutes to go. Here they've lost the ball. They've lost the ball, and Daniel Atkinson will bring this out, gives it off to, I think, Blake Laurie then. He'll be taken. Oh, that's a penalty, pass horizontal. Yeah, that's absolutely awful from the Rabbitohs. Second tackle, inside the 10. He's offside as well. It's a nightmare. Nightmare just then. Second tackle, knocked the ball on, give away a penalty. He's past the horizontal, but then also offside. Just an absolute nightmare in that play just then. Now, I need to see the Bulldogs against somebody who's not the Knights, because their attack didn't look like it was firing whatsoever. Matt Burton did a hammy, but they said it wasn't looking like it was too bad, so hopefully you can still play Vegas, but there's potential. But 10 minutes to go here, guys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you are new around here. We're live for every single game Rugby League. Samuel says he's had those duck eggs. He's had the duck eggs? What are you talking about, Samuel? A team of Matt Duffy and Kyle Flanagan would have been a joy to watch. That makes me sick, Mitchell. Jack says, is Mitchell Moses playing this year with the Eels still? Yeah, of course he is. Why wouldn't he be? It'll be Mitchell Moses and Jonah Pezzett in the halves. Jonah Pezzett just on loan there for a year. Really odd decision from the Eels, mate. Really odd decision from the Eels. Just crazy. Third tackle for the Dragons at the 40. Now fourth tackle at the 38 for the Dragons. They haven't been exceptional here, the Dragons, considering they were a full-strength team in against the Rabbitohs team who have nobody in. Kyan says, hey, mate, how you doing? Hope life's been treating good, bro. Yeah, in Vietnam, mate. Had a beautiful coconut coffee before and watching rugby league. Can't complain. Can't complain. And then a big game, T20 World Cup later on tonight. Grassy McGrath getting some good reps in. Had plenty of reps in that Knights game. Oh, Grassy McGrath, absolutely spectacular reps in that game. And plenty of reps in this one. He just got another one with a drop ball from the Dragons. The Rabbitohs first tackle at the 15. Someone says, a while ago you were overseas somewhere. Oh, I'm in Vietnam right now. Tax, it'd be good to see him play a bit more this year. Good player. Mitchell Moses, yeah, he's one of the stars of the NRL. He's one of the stars in the NRL. Yeah, my ladder predictions video will come out not this Monday, but next Monday, mate. So keep an eye on that one. I can't wait to get roasted for whatever I do. It doesn't matter who you put. You get roasted and then you get circle jerked. A 40-20 attempt. Was that 40-20? No, just short of the 20. Wow. Yeah, Vietnam's awesome, Kyle. Vietnam. It's good stuff. I'm here till March 24th and then off to the Philippines for 5 weeks, and I'll come back to Vietnam, and then Indonesia for a couple months or so, and then back to Vietnam. This is my base. Get some duck eggs, that'd be crunchy. Yeah, look, Samuel, I'm probably going to say that's not a priority for me right now, to get the old duck eggs. Probably not a priority for me as we currently speak. Quandale says, who do you support? I support the team that's going to go undefeated this year, mate. They've already gotten off with a win. And they're absolutely fired up. Might not ever lose a game again. The Gold Coast Titans, mate, absolutely fired up. They may never lose a game ever again. So watch it. Sink it in. Drink it in. Jack says, yeah, definitely. But he is like a Renault. Always injuries. Yeah, sure. But I would say at their... Actually, this is an interesting question. At their primes, at their peaks, would you guys take Mitchell Moses? Would you take Adam Reynolds? I think that's actually an interesting question. Oh, Mitchell. Fifth tackle, 7 minutes to go. Daniel Atkinson gets whacked by Kepi, and that's good take under pressure for the Rabbitohs. Connor says you support the Titans, poor guy. Why aren't you a Dragons fan? You're right. You're right, but aren't you a Dragons fan? You only finished one spot above us last year. Can you believe that? I didn't feel like that. I felt so weird to say the Dragons were third last year. I felt so weird, but they did. Sam says, do we get any injury-free season from Reynolds? You could argue that for a lot of players, but probably not. Maybe when he was younger. I don't support the Dragons. I support another team that Dufty played for. What's the other team that Dufty played for? No, not Reynolds versus Moses now, Samuel. I'm saying in their primes, in their peaks. So Moses' peak would be, now, whilst Reynolds would be. What's he? Why is he being timed out there, Sam? What did he say? What did he say? Oh, knock on there from the Dragons, the Rabbitohs. What did he do? I'm just trying to figure out which team. What's the other team that Dufty played for? First tackle now for the Rabbitohs, 38 metres away here from the line. Can someone tell me who the other team was that Dufty played for? I can only think of Dragons right now. And now Rabbits. Oh, Bulldogs. Okay. Oh, well, the Bulldogs have won a spoon more recently than the Titans. Also, we've won the same amount of premierships throughout the time the Titans have been in the competition, so let's settle in a little bit. Third tackle out at 20. But they've been better in the last couple of years, for sure. And also, overall, since 2007, but we still have won the same amount of premierships in the time frame we've been in the comp. And also, you have won a spoon more recently than us. Fourth tackle now, 10 metres away. They kick that ball through. Dufty gets it himself, and Dufty has scored, I think. Matty Dufty has scored against his old club, and it's 12-10 with a kick to come. 12-10 with a kick to come. Matt Dufty, he's a cold hero, this guy. 12-10. He kicks it for himself. He gets it himself, and he puts it down himself. 12-10, a kick to come to tie this game up. Now, Sam, if I feel like we'll time people out with the Titans if they're insulting, if it's just consistent and they just don't stop. But overall, I can deal with it for the most part in the early stages. But if it's just 5, 10, 15 minutes worth of them just dribbling, then we time out because they're not adding to the conversation. They're just trying to get a reaction and whatnot. But I see why you did. Don't worry. I get it. Match after the all-time fullback, Lagan. All-time. I forgot he was at the Bulldogs. Forgot he was there. No, so Quandale, he's right in what he's doing. Obviously, we do get quite a bit of trolls and whatnot that come in here taking the piss, and sometimes we do have to. Ooh, did he knock this ball on? The ball would juggled around. I think it's a try, but just while he was regathering that ball, it looked like the ball might have bounced a little bit, but it's fine. I'm not even going to ask how the game's gone, how many errors there have been. It's actually been a pretty decent game here, Lag, and there's been a few errors. If you go through the stats, which we'll talk about at half time, there's been 4 errors for the Dragons, 2 for the Rabbitohs, so not too many. There's 3 minutes to go. It's actually been a pretty good game, and the Dragons are basically full strength, whilst the Rabbitohs have barely no one in. This is a really good game. Rugby League Therapy says, I take Reynolds. I feel resentment towards Moses because everyone pretends he wasn't just as bad as Brooks for the first 6 years of his career. Just as bad as Brooks is crazy. I would say with Moses, though, I'm talking about now. I'm not talking about the first 6 years of his career. I'm talking about Moses' Origin winning form 2024 versus, say, Reynolds 2014 winning the premiership. And you can't say necessarily that Reynolds is clear because he's won a premiership when Reynolds had Sammy Burgess, he had Greg Inglis, he had a mount of a team, Isaac Luke, Johnny Sutton. He had a fantastic team back then, whilst Moses has had a bunch of dribblers for a lot of it, and still, alongside Dylan Brown in 2022, was able to get his team to the grand final. But so Reynolds was at the Rabbitohs in 2021. It's an interesting question, because you're taking Moses at his peak versus Reynolds at his peak. I feel like you might lean Moses, but I can understand both sides of the discussion there. Rabbitohs, they'll get this ball to the 5. 3 minutes to go the first half. Tomorrow, guys, we will have 3 games. So we've got the Māori versus Indigenous game in the men's. We will have the Sharks versus the Eels in the NRL preseason. And then we also have India versus Pakistan in the T20 World Cup. It's a big day tomorrow. Will Alex Johnson beat the record? Absolutely, he'll beat the record. Absolutely. He's how many tries away from it now? Please don't spam, bro. You'll get timed out. But yeah, Mitchell's timed him out. Yeah, Randall Johnson will get the record. It's a guarantee. I shouldn't say that, but it is. Matt Duffy, he gets away here. It's 12-12, and the Rabbitohs are putting on a show. They're 45 metres away from the Dragons line. Fit tackle. She says the winner determined same as English Premier League, or do we have semi-finals and finals in this rugby league? No, we have 8 teams. Oh, good chase here from the Rabbitohs. Number 5, and that number 5 is Geordie Mazzone. Very good chase there for the tackle, and the Dragons will be second tackle at 10. So no, she says we have a top 8. The top 8 will make it to the finals. First will play fourth. Second will play third. Whoever wins goes through to the the third week of the finals, which is the preliminary final. You'd call it a semi-final. And the loser of that will play the winner of 5th versus 8th and 6th versus 7th. So say third losers and fourth losers, and the winner of the bottom 4 of the top 8, 7th wins and 5th wins, then those 2 teams that lost in the first week from the top 4 will play the 2 teams that won in the bottom 4 of the top 8, and then it's knockout from there on out. So those 2 teams will play each other, those 4 teams will play each other, 2 teams will progress, they'll play those 2 teams that won in the first week, and then whoever wins that will go to the grand final and win it. So no, different to the Premier League. Andrew says, my preference is Ash Taylor Prime. Now Andrew's starting to talk. He's starting to talk absolute nonsense, but he's starting to talk, and I'm starting to like it. 4 tackle here for the Rabbitohs, and they'll beat the 45. 210 tries for AJ, needs 3 more to be the new record holder. Yeah, 100% happens. Mumlazella's fit tackle or 30. This is actually probably the best preseason game we've had so far. Fit tackle, Humphreys into the corner. Rabbitohs chasing it through. Drop ball from the Dragons, but it goes straight to Gutho. And lucky for the Dragons, because the ball dropped from the Dragons player, and Gutho grabs it. Sam says, I was going to say my preference was an Eels halfback, but I can't remember any besides Moses. Yeah, Peter Sterling must be a badminton player. Must be professional lawn bowls. Peter Sterling must be the best Russian croquet player of all time. The Eels have never had a halfback, have they, Sam? Like, just had the thought, 2020. No, take Chrissy Sandow, Eels. Take Chrissy Sandow at the Eels. I loved him at the Rabbits, but Chrissy Sandow at the Eels, what a player. What a big-time player. Oh, Andrew, you said Chris Sandow as well. I didn't even see your comment, bro. I did not even see your comment. It's so funny that we've both said Chris Sandow there. Yeah, Peter Sterling was a great lawn bowler. But anyway, so these games are rigged. If someone put big money on Souths, come on, man. The games aren't rigged. We've seen plenty of games this week that have gone against the grain, and I'm just glad to say that the Rabbit. This is very typical Dragons. Like, what are we surprised with here? The Dragons came third last year with a full-strength roster. Now, I am surprised that they are playing like this and that it is a close game. Don't get me wrong. But I'm also not surprised because it is a third last place Dragons team that will probably win this game by 1-6, 1-7 damn well points, because the Dragons last year, they lost a lot of their games by 1-7 points. But now we're in a preseason game and a game that doesn't matter. You watch them go and find a way to win it. But no, there's no mafia. There's no mafia here. There's no rigging here. We're just seeing a pretty good game in the preseason right now, which, we're happy to sit back and watch. But, guys, that is half-time, 12-12. Let's go through some of these stats here and get it going. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here, and let's rock and roll. Just in regards to this, I am only going to skim it in the preseason, because you will see 2 different teams in the first half to the second half. This basically means that this game drew 12-12, because you will see the Dragons completely change their team and the Rabbitohs will completely change their team. It is the preseason. When it's the regular season, we will go in-depth through this possession, completion, all the stats and whatnot, but we'll just absolutely skim through it here with the preseason, because 1, it'll update at half-time, but also 2, it just doesn't necessarily have a massive impact on the second half. But possession-wise, 56% for the Dragons, 44% for the Rabbitohs. Time possession, 13 minutes and 51 for the Dragons, 10 minutes and 51 time possession for the Rabbitohs. That's 13, 51 for both teams now, so it's actually close enough to 27.5. You take that. You do, you're 26.5. No, 27 and a half second, 27 and a half minutes. That's pretty good. 25 is a flat line marker. You'll take 27 and a half. Completion rate, flat line 80%. Need to be above it. Anything below it is bad. Dragons 75%, not good enough. 15 from 20. Rabbitohs 88%, very good. 16 from 18, they're loving life there. Runs wise, 94 runs for the Dragons, 791 run meters, whilst the Rabbitohs are 79 runs for 553 metres. So on its pure merit, 240 metre gap Dragons' favour. They've got those extra 15 runs. But if you look at the 10 metres on average per run, you want the Rabbitohs to have 790, now 800 metres with their 80 runs. They're at 557. So that's a pretty clean 250 metres off of the 10 metres per run on average for the Rabbitohs. Whilst for the Dragons at 95 from 801, they're about 150 metres behind the 10 metres on average per run. So it's 240 metres on a gap as we currently speak. Now 572 for the Rabbitohs with 82. Long story short, Rabbitohs are behind in regards to run meters by a bit, and the post-contact meters, only 12 runs separate them. A whopping 90 meters in front. 243 for the Dragons, 162 for the Rabbitohs. Not good enough there for the Rabbits. But again, the scoreline is very, very close. Line breaks 3-1 for the Dragons. If you don't know, preseason, 12 points for a win, 1 point for 5+ line breaks, 1+ bonus point for 10+ offloads, 1+ bonus point for 5+ tries. Both teams would need 3 more tries for that. But the Dragons would be 2 line breaks away from getting a bonus point, and the line breaks are 4 for the Rabbitohs away from their bonus point. Now, Rabbitohs, their defense actually hasn't been great here. All these stats are in favour of the Dragons despite the score. 23 tackle breaks for the Dragons, 8 tackle breaks, now 9 tackle breaks there for the Rabbitohs. That is a big swing. That's missed tackles. Average set distance, Rabbitohs 31.92. That's very underwhelming. 31.43 now. Extremely underwhelming, but still in the underwhelming category of the 35 to 30. Whilst the Dragons are 40.06 is extremely low, but just breaching the great category. So they're getting a good lot of meters. Rabbitohs now 31.19. Very low in the underwhelming. So that's a 9 metre gap there. Played the ball speed 3.52 seconds. Is bang smack in the middle of the average category of 3.4 to 3.59. Rabbitohs extremely slow 3.71. No, they're down to 3.68, which is in the slow category. So slow, average, not too much difference there at 0.14, but still Dragons edging out that category. You go to the offloads, 13 for the Dragons is massive. They've already got a bonus point, regardless win, lose or draw. They've already got a bonus point for offloads with the 10+. Rabbitohs at 3, they would need 7 more for a bonus point, but that is a 10 offload gap. That's huge. You go to the kick defusal of 100% for the Dragons, 50% for the Rabbitohs. Effective tackle percentage, 88% is the marker, 90% and above is fantastic, 85% to 88% is underwhelming, 85% and below is disgusting. Again, the Dragons are going to dominate this. 91.38% is fantastic. That's really good on the defensive effective tackle percentage. 159 tackles made, 11 missed tackles, and 4 ineffective tackles. Average amount of missed tackles is 15 to 17.5. They're at 11, so they are 4 under the lowest of the averages. Ineffective tackles is 5 to 7. They're 4, so that is 1 under the lowest of the averages. 15 bad tackles through 159 tackles made. You love that. Rabbitohs, they're under the disgusting category and really low. 83.75%. 201 tackles made. A whopping 22 missed tackles. Double the Dragons' 11. And that is 23 tackles now. So over double. That's 6 above the highest of the averages of 17. 23 is massive amount of missed tackles, and then the 17 ineffective, it's usually 5 to 7 on average. They're 10 above the highest of the averages there. So that is a romper stomper bad half in regards to missed tackles and ineffective. 40 bad tackles, that is a bad tackle a minute for the Rabbitohs in that first half. That's really, really poor. But again, we put our eyes back to the fact that it's 12-12 in this score. Crazy stuff. Right, so the Dragons are dominating the defense. They've dominated the run meters. They've dominated everything. Maybe not the completion rate, but these numbers aren't good for the Rabbitohs, but for some reason, they're tied 12-12. Errors-wise, here's your kicker. So 3 and under is very good. Or 3 and under is good. I never should say very good. 3 and under is good. 4 to 6 is average, and 7 above is really poor. Dragons are at 7 errors. Rabbitohs are at 2. So the Dragons aren't holding on to the ball as much as the Rabbitohs. That's where this game is being equalled out right now. There's just too many errors from the Dragons, which hopefully you get out through this preseason before you do play the Bulldogs in round 1. Penalties conceded is 3-2 Dragons way. Ruck infringements is 1-0 Rabbitohs way. Inside 10 metres is 1-1, and on report is 1-0 to the Rabbitohs. So overall, the Dragons should be dominating this game with these stats. They've got the better defence. They've got far less missed tackles. They've got a ridiculous amount less ineffective tackles. Their kick defusal is way better. Their play the ball speed is faster. They've got triple the line breaks that the Rabbitohs have. Their average set distance is about 7-8 metres, 8 metres literally above the Rabbitohs. They've got way more post-contact meters, way more run meters, and the completion rate's at 77% compared to 90%. So, look, the Rabbitohs have been very good completion-wise. That's the only stat they're winning in, besides the fact that Talanoa Penatani and Matty Duffy have kept this game at a equal score. So, very interesting stats there. Very interesting stats, but overall, that's not going to apply too much to the second half. It won't, because we'll see completely different teams come in. We will see completely different teams come in. Kelly says, bro, you should be an auctioneer. You're spitting out those numbers fast. Well, I know what I'm doing here. You know, I'm experienced in regards to these streams. I've been doing it for years now. And I've got a lot to say with like the chat. I've got to commentate the game. I've got to read you out the stats. And there's so much things going through my mind that I can just spit it out like that. But sometimes I will get tripped up, but I'll just go back over it if I do. Oh no, what's happening here? What's happening here? Okay, I get it. Yep, okay. Benny says, leather balls have benefits, synthetic balls don't. I'm actually going to go grab myself a Coke Zero, guys. Hit that like button and subscribe. It's half time. We'll be back in literally like a minute. I'll be back in one moment. Yeah, we're back. We're back. Beautiful title, Herbal Inhaler. Oh no, he said no, Benny. I'm going to read it. I might not read it out. Yeah, no, we're not going to be going down that path, mate. We're not going to go down that path, but I am going to open up the Coke Zero. Yeah, maybe not here. Maybe this isn't the place for that, mate. To be fair, cricket is long, so we do talk about some pretty random shit on our cricket streams here, which New Zealand South Africa tonight will be good, but for some of those other T20 World Cup games throughout the week, because we were doing three cricket games a day throughout this week, we would get into some random conversations. Jay, you needed to be here, mate. We needed you. We needed you to protect the chat at some points, because it was just talking about random stuff, especially on those. There was a game between. It was Canada versus South Africa got pretty rough because South Africa dominated them. It might have been like Oman versus. I can't remember. There's been some shocking games, but the cricket games go for 3.5 hours each. So that's 10.5 hours, right? So it's very easy to get distracted by rando comments. Blaze loves random chats, except from you, Andrew, but that's because you're a Parramatta fan, so we've got to be careful of you. Got to be very careful of you, because then you'll start talking about, the 1980s, and none of us were born, except for Jay, who was born in. I shouldn't even say this, because I've actually got a lot of subscribers who were well and truly born. They were partying in the 80s. Shauno and Jay, they were rocking the 80s, mate. They owned the 80s. Jay was 80 in the 80s. So 12-12, the second half is getting started here. Guys, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Don't forget, tomorrow, obviously later tonight, we have New Zealand versus South Africa in 2 hours after this stream finishes. But tomorrow, we will have Sharks. No, the first game is Māori versus Indigenous. The Māori versus Indigenous game, which is going to be awesome. And then we follow up with the Sharks versus the Eels in the NRL preseason, and then a massive T20 World Cup game, India versus Pakistan in Sri Lanka at Appamata Star Stadium. That is going to be a spin fest, and I feel like it's going to be interesting because I feel like Pakistan could sneak it. I do. India haven't been convincing. That pitch is difficult. Ask the Aussies against Zimbabwe. We could see Pakistan get a sneaky. But all right, Dragons, kick it off. Let's have another good, great second half here. Come on. Fire it up. That's the truth. 80s and 90s, sensational. Yeah, no, 1999. That's some of my best years of my life when I was 5 years old. So the Rabbitohs, they'll punch this ball to the 20 on second tackle. Ben says, good evening, Mr. BKR, sir. Ben, you've been here with us basically all day. What are you saying good evening? You've been here with us all day, mate. And so Zimbabwe's winning it all. Fun fact for you, Zimbabwe have never lost to Australian T20s. They're just like our bogey team. We played them in 2007 in the World Cup. In 2007 World Cup, we actually lost them there. We're not that great of a T20 team, though. Rude one, Mister has come on to Rabbitohs. Well, they're in the game, mate, despite some poor stats in the first half, and despite the fact the Dragons had way better stats overall. The Rabbitohs are in the game, but that's going to be a penalty against the Rabbitohs for offside. The Dragons will get themselves out of trouble, and Daniel Atkinson will kick this one away. Jay says, you never lived unless you experienced the 80s and 90s. Yeah, I think I'm all right living, mate. I get what you're saying, but I think I'm all right living. I'm a living, Barry. Yeah, that was Bubba Razam himself in the chat. That's him. That's him right there. 1999, you were 6. I was in London living at large. Well, I was 5 in 1999. 4 going on 5. I was born in 1994. So second tackle for the Dragons. They'll be 38 metres away from the Rabbitohs line. I'm just glad that we've got a good game here because, Dragons knock on. And again, there's the error. Brendan says, we definitely stream the cricket tonight or join the misses in the pool. No, I'll definitely be here. Last night was USA versus Netherlands, man. Can you really blame me for not streaming the USA versus Netherlands? Both those teams are out of the race because they're in the same group as India and Pakistan. USA and Netherlands weren't doing anything, and USA ended up winning by a country mile as well. So, no, I'm definitely in it for the long haul with the old cricket, especially tonight. She understands, bro. She's sweet. So first tackle for the Rabbitohs at the 45. Errors since the 25th minute. Dragons 6 times. Rabbitohs 1 time. Yikes. Well, they've only had 2 errors, the Rabbitohs. South, 48 metres out here from the line. And now Jamie Humphries, good run. Siegwald, 43 metres away on third tackle. Volley's been dropped, plenty. The Big Mac shrunk the very first day of the year 2000. Dude, Big Macs used to be way better back in the day. That's why I feel like as a kid, I was always a Big Mac kid. But then I went to quarter pounder maybe because Big Macs really changed. Fifth tackle now. Fifth tackle at the 15 for the Rabbitohs. It's an attack and kick coming up. Peter Mumlazelis. Across to Humphries. Humphries to Matt Dufty. Dufty underneath. Rabbitohs will score. Has he? Yes, he has. The Rabbitohs will score, and this is sensational right now. The Rabbitohs, massive underdogs, have taken the lead at 16 points to 12. That is just a big bopper. Truth be told, Blaze looked like a Big Mac as a kid as well. Yeah, why don't you go book another apartment out the back of Mount Isa when we're staying in Townsville for a Cowboys-Titans game, why don't you? But Latrell Siegwald will score for the Rabbitohs to make it 16-12 with a kick to come. Quarter pounder's where it's at. Double quarter pounder was where it's at. I haven't had McDonald's in ages, but they don't even have quarter pounders here in Vietnam. But when I did, I would have a double quarter pounder. Do Americans even understand what cricket is? Yeah, John Boy's helped them to understand it, but they don't really care too much. Try time for Latrell Siegwalt. Shadley Van Quick was actually really good in this World Cup. He's gotten 11 wickets so far. I think he's got the most amount of wickets. The American bowler has the most amount of wickets across any team in the World Cup as we currently speak. Nath is currently punching the air right now, lagging. He is definitely punching the air. Welcome back, Tyrell Sloan. Is Tyrell Sloan out there, is he? Bentley Hape. He'll be kicking from the sideline. Look at the two rosters on paper. Dragons, you've got to be disappointed in this. You offended the egg coffee? I'm more of a coconut coffee guy, Sam. Egg coffee, it's okay, but I definitely prefer the coconut coffee. 35 minutes to go. Burgers are better at Hungry Jacks. He's missed the kick. Stays 4 points as the difference. 16-12. Also, Dragons are at home here as well. Blaze is traumatised with the Townsville trip with Sam. 100%, mate. But the guy lives close enough to Uluru, so I'm more traumatised when I had to pick him up for Titans games. You know, I had to go out all the way to Uluru and back to get him. Even without the Airbnb, that Townsville trip was horrid. Mate, I don't know about that. I had a good sleep. I had a good sleep, mate. Yeah, no, that was a rough game to attend, but. So Rabbitohs will bring this ball to the 10 through Sean Kepi. Rabbitohs fans will be loving this. Oh, Tyrell Sloan knocked it on, was he, Mitchell? Boy, oh boy. Second tackle at the 20. And now they'll get this ball to the 30. Yeah, it is definitely worrying signs from the Dragons, Ben. Obviously, it's just preseason, but how much can you say it's just preseason when you've got that full-strength team in the first half against the barely any 17 Rabbitohs, and it was 12-12. This second half is going to be a different story, but the first half was effectively, well, it was just a tight game, but effectively 0-0, if you think about it. This second half is oh my gosh, the Rabbitohs are going to score again. The Dragons just threw the ball back over the try line for the Rabbitohs to score, and it's 20-12 with a hit to come. It's about to be 22-12. They might win this game here, the Rabbitohs, and that is a huge shock to start this season. An error from the Dragons. So Jamie Humphries kicks this ball up at the 45. The ball's going to come down to Setu 2, and then Setu 2 tries to get the ball out the back to Tyrell Sloan. It goes to grass, and Bentley Hape is going to be the one to score the try. Oh no, Dragons. Oh no. Oh no. Jason tells us about the New Zealand trip, Sam. Didn't you pull a couple of chicks? Big fan of the colour pink for Sammy boy. Big fan of the colour pink. God help him in Thailand. But the Rabbitohs up 20-12 with 33 minutes to go. Why would you make that pass? That pass was so pointless to make. It didn't benefit them at all. He wasn't going back on the in goal. Why did he do that? Why did he do that? And Bentley Hape will kick the conversion. And it is 22 points to 12. Dragons, what are you doing here? What are you doing? It's a great question, Mitchell. Some of us are. Some of us were, mate. So it's a fantastic question, Mitchell. Rude One says, what's good? Well, the Rabbitohs, they're going all right now. With 33 minutes to go of the game. And it's Rabbitohs ball at the 10. Playing the 5th. Rabbitohs will be at the 25 now, third tackle. Johnny Tony says go to the Rabbits. He's pretty happy. Johnny, pretty happy. Fourth tackle. Sam said, I don't need to police shit. I didn't even do anything. Fit tackle. And they'll keep this ball in the corner. Yikes, lucky I didn't put Dragons 1-6. Well, Dragons are still in the game, but can you believe it, Dragons fans? I can't believe this scoreline right now with your team list compared to theirs. I can't believe it, Dragons. Like, I can believe it, but I can't believe it. So it says, was hoping Dragons making top 8, not looking good, keep buying old players. Yeah, this is obviously a preseason game, so I'm not going to go completely blowtorch Melbourne Storm on Parramatta Eels style, but they did come third last year, and this isn't looking like they're improving. I'd argue this is showing regression. Dragons fans, when does Shane Flanagan start coming under fire? I know you need to wait out the first 7 rounds, but when does Flano start? Let's assume that you're struggling 7 rounds in. Are you coming for Flano's throat, or are you still waiting it out a bit? The no-name Bunnies flogging a full-strength side, pretty much. Again, the second half is changing, but you're still seeing Luciano Leilua in that tackle, Blake Laurie, who's experienced, Damien Cook's there, Daniel Atkinson's on the field. You've still got Kyle Flanagan on the field. You've got Harlan Gahu there, who's played plenty of rugby league now. Setu 2, who they started the game with, he's on the wing. Tyrell Sloan, who has been a consistent starter for the Dragons for years, he's there, playing fullback right now. Catches the ball now, he'll bring this player to the 30. So whilst this will be a different team, it's still a team that should get the job done against the Rabbitohs, but they're down by 10. They can't get rid of Shane or else they'll lose their best player, Kyle. This is true. This is true. Put the fries in the bag, bro. 30 minutes to go of the game, guys. Hit that like button and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button. Support the channel. Get around it. 91 overall, Tom Eisenhuth wouldn't have let this happen. How does that even happen, by the way? How does Tom Eisenhuth get a 91 ranking? Insane. Fit tackle for the Dragons at the 30. Keep the blowtorch away. No. Use the blowtorch on Para, the Storm say. So we're going to use the blowtorch. Dragons offloaded, and they will get the offload again, and they'll get the offload again, and Atkinson will kick that ball to the other side of the field. If they can get it out wide now, quickly, they score. No, that's actually going to be a 6 again here with the Dragons. They've gotten something out of an absolute travesty of a set. So first tackle, 0 tackle for the Dragons, 25 metres away. Now first tackle at 20. 81 watching and 19 likes. Do you want your team to lose? Yeah, hit that thumbs up button. Smash it in. He should be dropped, Kyle. Nate says, Nate's a big fan of Kyle Flanagan. Massive fan. Dragons at the 15. Ibrahim said, oh, that's right, yeah. Give it off to Kyle Flanagan. Well, Knights, I can tell you I've seen a more disappointing team today than you guys, and that's saying something. 4 tackle at the 5. Damien Cook passes the ball to the grass, and Dragons fit tackle at the 5. Oh, that's going to be a try. They're going to get a try there. That came out of nowhere, but Luciano Leilua will score. And we do still have a game here, folks. 22-16 with a kick to come. The Dragons will score. Is it Luciano Leilua who puts this ball down or Hamish Stewart? I feel like it's Luciano. I have been at least impressed by Hamish Stewart. I thought he's put in a real tough effort today for the Dragons. Someone says, I'm from Papua New Guinea. I like the Rabbitohs to win the game. Well, they're looking all right now, but they have just conceded. Luciano Leilua does score. I would be after the throat. Sloan can't fan period anyway. Cheers for the commentary. All good, Samuel. We're here for every single rugby league game, man. If you don't like this video, Parramatta will make the 8. Get on it, lads. Oh my gosh, like the video, please. We can't have Parramatta in the 8. That's a scary prospect. That is terrifying, Sam. You probably have just scared us into 1 billion likes with a comment like that. CG says Dragons just might be worse than the Knights. This score should not be like this. This score should not be like this. 27 minutes left here at the game. That's all good, Sam. They'll get knocked out first round. Yeah, as a hater, would you prefer to see your biggest rival enemy team get into the 8 and knocked out first week? Or would you rather them just not make the 8 at all? Because the finals are watched by everyone. Most games, pretty much every game. So it's like they get knocked out in front of the whole community. Or they just fade into non-existence at the end of round 27. Carl Flanagan to convert it, and he will make the kick. Nath signed him up for 10 years. He made the kick. It's 18 points for the Dragons, 22 points for the Rabbitohs. 4 points the difference. Who would even replace Carl Flanagan? I swear they have two halves on the roster. They've got Daniel Atkinson. They've got Lycan King Tagia. You would look towards Lycan King Tagia. Not that I think that solves the problem, but I just feel like the time is over here for Flanagan. You've seen him at the Sharks, it didn't work out. You've seen him at the Roosters, it didn't work out. You've seen him at the Dragons, it's not working out. I'm not here to just hate watch on him because there's no problem with the guy, but it's very obvious that he's not able to sort this team out. But again, this is preseason. I would prefer my rival to do a Broncos 2023. Yeah, but your rival still takes. Yes, I get it. But your rival still takes a really positive season out of that, and they still had the grand final day. Everyone's watching, but it's still a very positive season. If you just breach into the top 8 and then get beaten first week, everyone was watching you. And you don't know if you can say how positive a year it was. A grand final, regardless of the outcome, regardless of the heartbreak. I get the heartbreak factor, and what you're saying is the worst ever. But you can still take the positive out of the year. That's a knock on there from the Dragons, and 0 tackle comes out for the Rabbitohs at the 15. Scotland doing good so far. Oh, forgot about that cricket game. Come on, Scott. 105 for 3 through 12. Dude, Scotland are on fire against England. Kind Scott. Eden Gardens and Kolkata. Kind Scott. Go you good things. Beautiful. Go to Scots. How did George Munsey do? 3rd tackle at the 35. George Munsey. Oh, he only got out for 4 as well. George Munsey hasn't been the guy. It's been Michael Jones and Richie Barrington. 41 not out for Barrington. George Munsey gets out early. You would have thought Scotland done, but Scotland fired up. 5th tackle at the 45. If they lose that game of Scotland, their tournament's done, England. Their tournament is done. Dragons get the ball at the 10 through Tyrell Sloan. Pushes off 1 and gets out of the 15. Isn't Bronx Titans rivals? Yes, Brenton. That's why Sam said that. 2nd tackle for the Dragons at the 20. It's only a 4-point game right now. It's well and truly on. Yeah, glad the footy's back, Jared. Especially when we've got a game like this as we speak, even though it's a preseason. Imagine being kicked out of the World Cup by Scotland. Well, the thing is that Australia is in a bit of a precarious position. They need to go and beat Sri Lanka on Monday in Sri Lanka, but Sri Lanka haven't looked fantastic. But we'll turn up. We'll turn up, mate. You got a big game tonight, New Zealand versus South Africa. 5th tackle for the Dragons at the 35. You got a big game there tonight. I feel like you win, but I feel like it comes down to whoever bats second. Whoever bowls first wins that game. Because both teams bat is good. Both teams bowls are average. Duffy's away here. Duffy's at the 20, the 25, the 30. Great run from Matty Duffy. Fantastic. Yeah, Scotland weren't even meant to be in the tournament, Sam. They only came in because Bangladesh said no. Anyway, we're going to get off of the cricket and we're going to get back to the rugby league. 3rd tackle for the Rabbitohs. I'll get this ball to the halfway point. I asked the question, is it the coach or the people above the coach? He can only train who he's got. Yeah, but he also has a big say in who he's got. So he's definitely partly to blame. Like, he does choose to play Kyle Flano, and he does choose this team overall. But the Dragons are an absolute mess as an organisation, so there is that too. And I'd say that's a bigger problem with the Dragons, a massive problem with the Dragons. But Flano is absolutely partly to blame. Yeah, I'm in Vietnam, Jared Troy. I'm currently in Ho Chi Minh. By the way, the team I was on about that Duffy played for was the Warrington Wolves. Well, surely you have a team in the NRL, though. Surely. If you're here watching, well, I guess it's a good time zone for you. It's morning right now. You would have missed the earlier games, though. But surely you've got an NRL team that you have at least a soft spot for, or that you would say you support more than the others. If not, you're now a Titans fan. Unlucky, buddy. Fit tackle here for the Dragons. They'll be at the 40. Oh, he's a bandwagon bastard. Oh, he's a bandwagon at Quandale. He says he supports Brisbane. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. An Englishman getting around Brisbane. Oh, Rabbitohs are away at the 30. They're at the 40. They're at the 50. He's still going here, and Bentley Haight will be taking out the 45. At the 45 on the Dragon side of the field. I've got up Gutho, Cook, and Duffy. Just need Tuipulotu. Well, I hope that he gets up for you. Yeah, no, we're sorry to hear. As Jay said, we're sorry to hear, mate. Very sorry. Third tackle for the Rabbitohs at the 30. And they go out to the right. Ashton Ward, short side play. Fourth tackle at the 20. Still up by 4. Fun fact, the Knights haven't scored a try against the Dogs since round 7, 2024. 241 minutes worth of game time. That wasn't the game, though, was it? That wasn't the 66-0, though, was it? Or no, that was a few years back. 2023 was 66-0, wasn't it? Rabbitohs kick to the corner. Drop ball. Bailey Bentley Harpe had a chance. It is Harpe. I keep calling him Hate, but it's Harpe. Yeah, look, we do have a better Englishman on this channel than you then, Quandale, because Jacko wasn't a rugby league fan. He subscribed with our cricket streams, and then he was interested in the rugby league we were talking about. We've got him onto the Titans, mate. We haven't lost a game under Jacko. So unfortunately, you do have to fall down the list in the Englishman on this channel because Jacko did go all in on the Titans. He paid 150 quid for the WatchNRL.com. And he didn't even know anything about it. He just wanted to get behind it. 20 minutes to go in the game here, guys. Hit that like button and subscribe. It's so funny, man. Good on him. It's going to be a good season, so he'll enjoy it. But out to the left. So, yeah, you dropped down the old English list there, unfortunately, Quandale. But you are better than Harrison, though. You are above Harrison. Harrison is always last. Harrison's always last. Rabbitohs will get taken out at the 5. Harrison is still yet to win a bet on this channel, and he tells us about his bet every single day, and they always lose. He even bet on England against the West Indies. Incredible stuff. Second tackle now for the Rabbitohs, and they'll be 4 metres out from their own line. Yeah, his voice was getting annoying again. Let's stay focused on this game. What are you talking about? So it's going to be a penalty to the Rabbitohs at the 10. Oh, you're talking about Lagan. Oh, okay. Yeah, I get you. I get you because he was insulting the Knights. They'll kick this ball out to the 33 here, the Rabbitohs. They'll get out of trouble. 19 minutes left, Dragons. What are you doing? It's actually to the 40. To the 40 the kick went. The Rabbitohs push it to the 42. Blaze's heart just broke into a million pieces. Well, no, it didn't. He supports a team that isn't going to win the premiership in 2026. It's his loss. Yeah, it's his loss. Rabbitohs at the 42, third tackle. Oya should revoke his Dragons fandom after this. We haven't seen Oya in a long time. I know he still subscribes to the channel. I see his public subscription, but we haven't seen Oya cracking on the channel for a while. It's going to be a great day in the Greek fandom when Oya turns up for his Dragons. He's the number 1 Greek Dragons fan in the world. Fifth tackle at 20. Jamie Humphreys puts that up. Drop ball. Rabbitohs try. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Jared Sutton is going to the bunker here, but the Rabbitohs might have just scored. Might have just scored. They're confirming it's back off of Dragons, but there might be a South hand that also comes involved here. Lachlan Hubner. This is a good follow through. Up in the air. That's going to be touched, I feel like, from a Rabbitoh. They're going to say it goes backwards here from the Dragons. So there's so many hands involved here. There's more hands involved than a Thai massage parlour. Gee whiz, there's like 10 different hands here. Is it a Dragons? How do you call this? Oh, now touches the arms. They are going to say it's not back from the Dragons. I think this is a pretty brazen call immediately. Kokomu, yes, these are just warm-up matches. It's pre-season. So we'll also have a pre-season game tomorrow, Sharks and Eels. We'll have the Māori vs Indigenous game, which is like an all-stars match. Next week is pre-season as well. But then in 2 weeks' time, we got the start of the season when we've got the Knights playing the Cowboys and the Bulldogs versus the Dragons in Las Vegas. So in 2 weeks is when you will see the official games actually get underway. But for the time being, yes, this is just the pre-season. We've seen the Warriors go down to Manly earlier today, 33-18. We saw the Tigers absolutely whoop-a-mundos the Roosters. What was that score again? 42-26 or whatever? It was 42-26. Look at my brain go. Bulldogs beat the Knights 28-0. The Cowboys beat the Panthers 66-24. The Raiders beat the Storm 32-6, and the 2026 premiers Gold Coast Titans winning 24-12 over who were the favourites for the comp. 24-12 Dolphins. Titans might just never lose a game ever again. I think it's a fact at this point, though. I think at this point we're just really starting to seriously talk about how no one looks impressive except for the Titans. 4 tackle at the 48 for the Dragons on the Rabbitoh side of the field. They're still down by just the 4 points, though. I don't think there is a spot in the world Blaze will not be going to. Mate, one day I will get to pass the ice wall in Antarctica. One day. I'll be the first person to breach it. Daniel Atkinson kicks this ball to the 8 metres. By the way, that's a great step by Seagwell. He'll get this ball to the 15. Dragons fans, I need to know your opinion. Are you taking, if you win this game, are you taking any positives out of it? I've got Titans to win the Prem. See, Kokomu, that's because you get it, though. Like, when I think about people who get it, is there going to be a mistake here for the Rabbitohs? There is. The Dragons are going to get the ball here at the 30 on the Rabbitoh side of the field. See, Kokomu, you get it. You got blokes like Andrew here who say Parramatta to win the comp. You don't get it. You got people here who say Broncos or Panthers or Storm or whatever. They say they win the comp. They don't get it. You get it. You get it. So Dragons ball at 20. And here we go. Down by 4. Dragons are 15 metres out. Do the Vietnamese have any interest in the NRL? No, Jared. They don't know anything, but they're about to find out when I start doing my tipping videos, because I'm doing that at landmarks all around the country. Second tackle on the 3. You'll see what I mean with my tipping videos that come out every Tuesday when the season kicks off. Out to the right. Well, actually, next week is when that'll happen. Oh, he's lost the ball, and the Rabbitohs will get out of trouble. Oh, first knock on Rabbitohs, they're saying. So Dragons get a fresh set of 6, 10 metres out. 10 metres out. If they're going to challenge this here, the Rabbitohs, you may as well. My only positive is that Kyle might be dropped after this game. Mate, he's getting elevated to captain after this game, Nath. Gutho's not having the captaincy anymore. Kyle Flanagan, captain. And re-signing for another 5 years. It's a one-on-one strip, but it's going to be a knock-on from the Rabbitohs. I heard that the NRL wants to go more global next year, not just the games in the US. I don't think that's next year. I think that's 2028. But maybe. I just don't know if they're going to be able to organise that in time. I think that's more 2028. They've already got enough on their plate with the Perth Bears coming in. I don't think that you do that, because then the Perth Bears playing their first game international, no way. I've got 2028 being the year they would go more global, because you would then have to say the Perth Bears get their first ever game in the south of France, or in Hawaii, or in Miami, or in London kind of deal, or Vegas kind of deal. I don't think that's the case. It would be so silly and so stupid to do that. So they'll probably wait until 2028 for mine. Dragons here, 10 metres away. It's going to be third tackle, 5 metres out. Third tackle. Oh, that's a troll, 100%, Jay. You know that. They go out to Daniel Atkinson, and they'll be 4 metres short, 4 tackle. 15 minutes to go here of the game. The Dragons down by 4. Can they get over the line? Daniel Atkinson. No, I don't believe it. It's definitely 100% a troll. Was it created a second ago today, Jay? 100%. Fit tackle. Out the back to Daniel Atkinson. Atkinson to the 10. Oh, he puts it in a good area. I think that's going to be a dropout. I think that's going to be a dropout here. Rabbitohs. Go deep, son. Go deep. Go deep. And it says, I'm clipping Blaze saying that Para aren't going to win the comp. Mate, you clip whatever you want. You clip it all up, baby. But then you can clip up me saying that you can go and screw yourself. How about that? I like that one better. Yeah, 1 minute. Makes sense, Joe. See right through that. Rabbitohs. Oh my gosh, Dragons, that's horrific. It just completely bounced back to the Rabbitohs. The Rabbitohs are away. Oh, if the Rabbitohs had scored off of that, that would have been the most nightmare thing I've ever seen. It's already a nightmare. The Dragons allowed the short kickoff, the short dropout to bounce on the grass. No one touched it. Bounced straight back to the Rabbitohs, and now they got the ball at the 40. Yeah, like Singapore has been mentioned a lot. Singapore? Oh, yeah, Singapore wouldn't be a bad shout, man. Wouldn't mind it. It's a branch into Asia, and they already love their sevens. They love the rugby sevens there when they take it every year to Singapore, so it's a good shout. I've also heard Hawaii's name come up quite a bit. But you watch, they'll take it to Miami. Yeah, 100%, you watch. They'll probably take the Gold Coast Titans to Miami or something like that. Because there's a similarity there. They'll put that ball up. Dragons drop it backwards, and they're going to get out. Tyrell Sloan's away. Tyrell Sloan the 10. Oh, tripped up just as before he could get into his gazelle leaping. Is gambling illegal in Singapore? Good question. I don't think so, though, but good question. 13 minutes to go here. Is gambling illegal in Singapore? 2 integrated resort casinos in Marina Bay Sands and Resorts World Sentosa are places where one can gamble legally in Singapore. So you can gamble there, but only in those 2 hotels. Rabbitohs pick the ball up from a mistake from the Dragons, and the Rabbitohs are going to score! Oh no, Dragons have been an absolute travesty today. The Dragons have been an absolute travesty. This is an enormous underdog victory in the Charity Shield if the Rabbitohs go on to win this game. Dude, come on. Jordy Mazzone will score for the Rabbitohs. What is this, Dragons? They go out left, and then it's just going to be an absolutely horrific pass here from the number 21, and that is Lycan King Taguya. An absolutely horrific pass. Their halves situation is just so screwed, St George. Flanagan's not been great. Atkinson's not been spectacular here today. But I still back him in a little bit more long-term with this club. And then Lycan King Taguya comes on and throws that absolute melt of a pass. It's 26-18 with 12 minutes to go and a kick to come. Lagans says Dolphins versus Titans in Miami. Would love that, even though that might be the Vegas game. Ibram says the Perth Bears GM said he will be open to play some of their games in Singapore. It would make sense for Perth because they're on a really close time slot. I think it's only, what are you, an hour in front of Singapore, Jay? I think you're 2 hours in front of me here in Vietnam, but I think you're an hour in front of Singapore, correct? Robbo says it's another beautiful play by the Front Dragons. Yeah, I don't know if this would be getting too much excitement out of you, Robbo, as a Dragons fan. I don't think this would be pumping too much of the old excitement out of you. They will get the conversion, so it is 28-18 with 10 minutes to go the game, guys. Do me a favour, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. Keep voting in the poll. The Dragons still at 55% in that poll in the chat. Boy, oh boy. Yeah. Oh, you're 1 hour ahead of me in Vietnam. So then you're same time zone in Singapore then. That's weird. Do you have daylight savings? Time in Perth is 6:43. Time in Singapore is 6:43. That's actually ridiculous if you look at a map of the world. Singapore to Perth. Oh, to be fair, it's not actually that ridiculous if you think about it. It's not actually that ridiculous. My bad. Second tackle. It's okay, Dragons. You just need to take the 2 about 5 times and you're there. Nath loves a good 2 taken. Loves a big 2. We bandaged that in Clive Palmer. 10.5 minutes left for the Dragons to try and save whatever they... Oh, that's a knock on there from the Rabbitohs. So the Dragons are going to get an opportunity. 40 metres out. You must score. You must score here. Come on. We also may ban the Bears. No, you must keep the Bears because otherwise they go straight to North Sydney and then that's my worst nightmare. Keep them in Perth. Keep them in Perth and try and figure out a way to remove the North Sydney faction of the club. Now that would be funny. Second tackle for the Dragons. Now that would be funny. How sad do you reckon Jesse is watching this abysmal performance? You really hate that bloke, don't you, Sam? You really don't like Jesse, do you? Dragons are 18 metres away from the line. Third tackle. 18 metres out. And Emre Gula, he's 10 metres away. Fourth tackle. Can the Dragons make this a game? They go short into the line. Offloads. And that's a knock on from... Oh, I don't want to say his name because I know that Nath is going to blow up in the chat. Oh, Robbo. I'll tell you, mate. Carl Flanagan's just knocked the ball on. You won't believe it. You won't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. Robbo says, I know I'm sad. I know it's a trial, but gee whiz. I know, mate. I know. It's a trial, but you had a basically full-strength team, and you've played a lot of your full-strength team for the majority of this game. You've had a basically full-strength team in this game compared to a Rabbitohs team that had no Cody Walker, Trell Mitt, Jai Gray, Campbell Graham. I hate that I'm doing this to you, but I have to remind people. David Fafita, Cameron Murray, Jai Arrow, Alex Johnston. Jack Whiten. Oh, dude. Oh, it just goes from bad to worse. It goes from bad to worse. There's 1,000 games of NRL, the difference between these two teams today, and the team with the 1,000 games advantage is going to lose by 10 and concede 28 points. That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. The Dragons will get the ball here at the 15. That's a good catch there from Tyrell Sloan. The biggest out of them all, Adam Elliott. What a big out. No, that's a big out. The Bunnies are missing all those guys. Dude, their lineup today is Matthew Duffy fullback, Bailey Bentley Harpe on the wing alongside Geordie Mazzone, centres of Talanoa Panatani, who's been really good, and Latrell Siegwalt, Ashen Ward 6, Jonah Glover 7. Jonah Glover got injured in the first 3 minutes and broke his jaw, fractured his jaw, so he'll be out for a couple of months. Salesi, Atata, Peter Mamozelis, Lachlan Hubner, Thomas Fletcher, Max McCarthy, and Bronson Garlick. That is the 13 the Rabbitohs went with. Whilst the Dragons, they had Clint Gutherson, Tui Pelotu, Moses Sully, David Farley, Setu Tu, Kyle Flanagan, Daniel Atkinson, Emre Gula, Damien Cook, Toby Couchman, Lushan Leilua, Jaden Sewer, and Hame Sele. There's no excuses here for the Dragons, bro. They should be slandered into oblivion for this. Keon is next year, Ibrahim. Keon goes next year. Is Tavita playing? Tavita is on the bench, John. Tavita is... Actually, no, sorry. Tavita... Yeah, no, he's on the bench. Is he on the field now? I think that's probably what you're asking. I don't think I've seen Tavita at all. Oh, there he is. There is he? I think that might actually have been him there. Yeah, it was. Tavita Tola just ran the ball just now. And they'll put that up, and the Dragons will grab this ball at 15 on first tackle. Sione says losing to a reserve grade Souths. Absolutely, mate. Hey, I know it's preseason, but it's still really bad. It's still really, really bad. I didn't think that it'd be a team that disappointed me more than the Knights today. But the Dragons have found a way. 4 tackle here at the 40 on their own side of the field. Off to Emre Gula. Gula the 50. Just remember, the Dragons have to play the Bulldogs in Vegas and the Cowboys play the Knights. What a shit show of a weekend. Being done by 50 is worse. Being done by 66-18 on its own looks worse, but the Panthers had nobody in, not a single one of their 1-17 in that game, and the Cowboys had quite literally a full-strength team. So I don't think that game is contextually worse. The Panthers would win that game if they had a full-strength team. This is bad, bro. This is bad for the Dragons. Keon doesn't want to play finals for another 5 years. Yeah, but Keon going made way for David Fafita to come in and Payne Haas. Keon going is what made the way for Payne Haas to be able to come in. So I don't think you can complain too much about it. Jamie Humphries will get taken down to the 40. 4 tackle. I'm going to disagree. They at least put some points on the board. Yeah, you're a Knights fan. You're going to see it that way. But also, yours was full strength on full strength. The Bulldogs came third. And yours wasn't completely full strength. No Fletcher Sharp, no Kalaponga, blah, blah, blah. But the point is that, okay, let's assume 17th. Oh, they offload the ball in the Rabbitohs, then a knock on. 17th versus 3rd from last year. It's expected. It's disappointing. But it's also relatively expected. Dragons, it's 3rd last versus 4th last based on last year. But this is the first grade Dragons team, minus maybe Valentine Holmes and Jacob Little on the bench, to the Rabbitohs, who are missing their whole damn well team besides a couple. You know, I know who I'm leaning towards, and also the Dragons have conceded the same amount of points to the Rabbitohs. Dragons are away here. Dragons are away here. At the 30, the 25, back onto the inside. Hey, gets the offload away. 3rd tackle at the 20. They're still going. And Buchanan is going to be 9 metres away from the line. The Roosters lost bad too. Yeah, but bro, look at the team list. 4 tackle at the 10. Look at the team list. It's not comparable. Dragons chance. Dragons chance. Can they bring the game back on? Yes, they do. Try time with the Dragons. Okay, we might have a good last 3 minutes here. Matthew Fine will score. Fine will score, and we are going to the finish here. 22-28. If they get the kick, they can still win the game. Regardless, everything we've said is still extremely disappointing, but Matthew Fine will score. Dude, Roosters had Rex Bassingthwaite as a fullback. Have you heard of him? I'm sure you haven't. So, you know, you can't criticise the Roosters for the same reasons the Knights and the Dragons get criticism. Finally bit of life. A little bit of something here, Robbo. You know, you'll be disappointed, but you'll still take the win. You know, Charity Shield is still the Charity Shield. You'll be disappointed if you win, but you'll be taking the win. I don't think you could say you're happy. Oh, has he lost that? It was close. It was close. He hasn't confirmed it yet. I think that is fine. His fingers come off the ball, but like he is putting... Yeah, try confirmed. Jeez, it was close though. Hand on ball the whole way. This is less than a South B team does. And Flanagan will get the kick, so at least he's been good with the conversions today. 4 from 4. 2 minutes and 51 seconds to go in the game. St George converted try, wins the game. St George try and miss would be no extra time, just simply a draw, or if Rabbitohs can hold out. Comment in the chat who you think wins this game from here. Bonus points wise, Dragons got 5 line breaks. They've already got the bonus point there. Line breaks for the Rabbitohs is 4. They need 1 more line break for a bonus point. Offloads, Dragons killed that. 10 plus offloads. They got 17. Rabbitohs 3, so they won't get a bonus point for offloads. But the Dragons got 2. Rabbitohs 1. And then 5 tries for the Rabbitohs. I mean, they've got 2. Dragons need 1 more try to get the 5 tries for their bonus point. So it's 2-2 with bonus points. Right now, the Rabbitohs have the 12 to make it 14 points. But if the Dragons can pinch it, well, the Dragons would get 12 points, which would take them to 25 points for the preseason. They'd be, for the time being, in second, but they'll drop down after the rest of the games. Dragons now, 4 tackle at the 30. Rude says, surely a double to the Rabbitohs. Andrew says, Rabbits. Jared's probably South. Well, we've still got 2 minutes to go here. Dragons haven't done too much on this set. They'll get one more set after this, however. Tyrell Sloan at the 40. Well, you'd love a mistake here from South. You've only got 2 minutes to go here, Dragons. A 40-20 attempt. It will curl. It will curl. And Rabbitohs get the ball to 15. Bring it out to the 25 through Matthew Duffy. First tackle, 28 or so. Don't forget, later on tonight, we've got New Zealand versus South Africa in the T20 World Cup. That'll be huge. That'll be about 2 hours after we finish this stream. Second tackle for the Rabbitohs. They're at the 33. Fact Dragons might not move on top of the Bulldogs is funny. Why? Why? Rabbitohs will bring this ball to the 50 on 4 tackle. Well, it'll only be points differential. No, they won't get a 3 bonus. Unless they get a try, then they get the 3 bonus. If they get a try and win this game, they actually go 26 points. Fit tackle. And they'll kick this ball into the corner. So the Dragons will have this one set to go. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're new around here. The Dragons need to score a converted try right now. Dragons bring the ball out. Tyrell Sloan, great run to the 20. His first tackle, 50 seconds to go. They've got to go 80 metres. Setu 2, he'll bring the ball to the 30. You've got to get up quickly here. 44 seconds, 43 seconds, 42 seconds. Play the ball. Kyle Flanagan gets it out. They go quickly, and Setu 2 will be taken down to the 30. You've got to be a lot better than this. Third tackle, 31 seconds to go here. Flanagan is playing dummy at the moment. Halangahu brings the ball to the 40. There's no urgency here from the Dragons. 22 seconds to go with the game here. Kyle Flanagan out to... this is just nothing's happening here. At the 50. 12 seconds to go. The last play. You got to go down here, Couchman. 7 seconds. 6 seconds. 5 seconds. Fit tackle. You need a try. You need a try right now. They kick the... Oh my gosh, the Dragons, I cannot believe that set. That is one of the most horrific sets you've ever seen. That is one of the best Charity Shield upsets of all time. Out of all the Rabbitohs games in history, in the Charity Shield between the Rabbitohs and Dragons, Rabbitohs would have been paying close enough to 10-1 to win this game. I can't believe that fit tackle option just then. I can't believe that set. I don't care that this is preseason. You should care that this is preseason Steel Dragons. You are still the professional players for your team. Your fans would be so disappointed right now that you've lost to one of your bigger rivals in the only preseason game that actually holds weight when it comes to the name of the two teams playing each other. This actually is the only one that holds any genuine weight because this is a historical Charity Shield matchup which the Rabbitohs are going to win. Crazy that there was no urgency to try and win that game. Crazy. But the Rabbitohs will win. They're only going to get the 1 bonus. No, so they'll get 2 bonus points. Actually, no, they don't get the line break. They don't get the line break. So, no, they're only going to get the 1 bonus point for the 5 tries. They will get 13 points. So, the Rabbitohs will go into equal with Manly and the Dragons. They win by 4. They win by 4 here, so their points differential will go to +4. Dragons go down to +6. So the Dragons will stay above them. Yeah, the Dragons stay above them there. But they will go above the Roosters into 8th position, the Rabbitohs, whilst the Dragons, their preseason is done. And despite the fact that last week they were able to get a win over the Knights, 28-18. You look at it now and go, well, you gave up 18 points to the Knights. The Dogs gave up nothing and beat them 28-0. The Dragons aren't looking good right now. This preseason has not been good for the Dragons. Won $110 off $10. So it was 11-1, was it, Chev? Good bet. 11-1. Wowee. You got to be honest with yourselves, Dragons, right now and say, this is not a good preseason for you. regardless of last week, if you contextually deep that, I know you didn't have your full stars in, but you still had a decent amount of players in. Not compared to the Knights, but you still got 18 points to them. And like 28 is kind of just expected against the Knights at this point. It just kind of is. But anyway, guys, that's the day. We've done 4 straight NRL streams, and I hope you have enjoyed with us. We'll be back tomorrow. Well, later on tonight, we'll be live for New Zealand versus South Africa in a massive T20 World Cup game in about 2 hours' time. But tomorrow, we will be live for the Māori versus Indigenous game, which will be awesome. We'll also have the Sharks versus Eels preseason game, and then we also have India versus Pakistan in the cricket. Brenton says, Matt Duffy Masterclass. Benny says, Flano needs advice from Gallon. Needs advice from Gallon. Harrison bet on the Dragons. Harrison went all in on the Dragons. Everyone says, considering the team the Rabbits were playing and there was only a 3-point gap, just ridiculous, dude. Just ridiculous that the Dragons have found a way to lose that. But anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off for now. I will see you in about 2 hours' time for the New Zealand versus South Africa T20 World Cup game. Obviously, do me a favour, hit that like button, subscribe if you are new around here, and I will see you tomorrow for some more rugby league action. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.